Hello everyone, my name is Kendra Flood, and I am a first-year master's student at Penn State University studying agriculture and extension education. My fellow colleagues include Dr. Kevin Curry, my graduate advisor and assistant professor in agricultural and extension education, as well as Dr. Kathleen Sexsmith, who is an assistant professor in rural psychology. Today, we are going to be sharing our research on student perceptions in school-based agricultural education and careers. Literature shows that students are needed to fill positions in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Official projections suggest that between 2018 to 2028, there will be 10 million positions open, with 600,000 of them being left unfilled. With women being less likely to pursue careers in STEM and men being less likely to pursue careers in feminized careers, we examined how school-based agricultural education students perceive gender in ag careers. To do so, we use the social cognitive theory of career development developed by Lind, which models how persons, background, contextual, and experimental factors affect a career decision-making. By doing so, it can help identify how male and female students develop self-efficacy, goals, and choice actions differently when career planning in agricultural professions. The purpose of this study was to investigate how the perceptions of gender stereotypes affect agricultural career decision-making among high school-based agricultural education programs. To do so, we looked at two research questions. One, what perceptions do SBE students hold regarding gender stereotypes for careers in agriculture? And two, are there differences in the perceived importance in FFA, SAE, and classroom instruction across gender and program involvement?
We collected data at 3 schools, urban, suburban, and rural programs in Pennsylvania. At each of those schools, we conducted gendered focus groups with boys and girls in 2 very distinct groups, involved students in leadership positions in the FFA and those with limited involvement in the ag program. In addition to those focus groups, we had each student take a brief survey to gauge their perceived importance of each component of the 3-circle model. Finally, we had them conduct a sorting exercise of common agricultural careers to determine whether they perceive them as male professions, female professions, or both. We transcribed our qualitative data and analyzed with in vivo with an emergent coding process that first identified major themes and was then refined through a second cycle coding effort focused on identifying attitudes and beliefs around gender. For our quantitative data, we used descriptive statistics and t-tests to detect for differences in the perceived importance of the 3-circle model among gender and degree of program involvement. Displayed here are the results of our quantitative survey. As you might expect, students in the focus group with limited involvement in the school-based agricultural education program report a significantly lower perceived importance of the FFA and SAE components of the 3-circle model. Both of those values were statistically significant. No differences were observed with the importance of classroom instruction or any of the 3 components between the 2 genders. To give you a sense of the demographics, you can see here that we had a predominantly white sample. They were mostly sophomore standing, and nearly all of them had taken 2 or more agriculture courses. Here, we have summarized the sorting exercise that we had the students complete prior to the focus group. They were told to classify their perception of careers as either male, female, or both. As the data show, 5 of those careers were nearly unanimously labeled as either male or female. This was not the case, however, for the category of both. On this slide, we've identified the 3 themes that were in the robust amount of qualitative data that we collected. First and foremost, we heard very clearly from both genders this notion of anyone can do any agricultural career. We heard over and over that females could do the work of a stereotypical male or male-dominated profession, and vice versa. This theme fed the second most prominent finding, which was that their programs were instrumental in busting those gender stereotypes. We cited several examples where students expressed the idea that gender stereotypes aren't really a thing at their programs. Even so, These themes regarding the positive perceptions of gender work in agriculture were in direct conflict with how they sorted their careers in their career exercise. Our third theme here is this cognitive dissonance on gender discrimination. On the one hand, they were telling us all the right things about no limitations on gender, yet they spoke of careers and the skills used in them in plainly gendered language. They spoke of the lack of gender stereotypes in their programs, but were unable to articulate gender barriers that exist in the workplace. In summary, we examined how the perceptions of male and female high school agriculture students on gender stereotypes affected their career decision-making in agricultural careers. When asked to codify their perceptions of gender, they consistently identified gendered patterns. Yet in their commentary regarding the ability of either gender to engage in agricultural professions, students perceived their programs as busting those same stereotypes. Additionally, they hinted at the understanding that women are socialized to perform jobs requiring quote unquote soft skills, as reflected in their high participation rates in FFA, whereas men are socialized to perform jobs entailing heavy manual work, as reflected in their SAE choices. Moving forward, we recommend a few things. First, school-based agricultural education teachers should integrate critical reflection on their gender stereotypes that they have in their curriculums. Second, we recommend further research with a more generalizable sample. And finally, we want to explore that lack of differences that we saw in the perceived relative importance of FFA and SAE between boys and girls. We look forward to your engaging questions.